let's get rock and rolling. Thanks everybody for joining me today to discuss a what normally is a boring topic, but might be exciting for some of us that are marketing geeks like myself. And yeah, let's get rocking and rolling. Most contractors believe the only way to get more jobs is to spend more on ads or get more referrals. This is the common conclusion that we seem to come to with our clients and talking to hundreds of other contractors. But there may be actually another reason why you're not successful with your marketing. And really, it's are you even visible when homeowners or owners in general search you online? So, out of curiosity, how many of you guys in the last month have looked up a business on Google to check their reviews? Who here has done that? For sure. So probably a pretty good idea to be showing up there in good. But what we find actually is a lot of contractors don't spend any time working on local SEO. And this is what we want to focus on today. So just to make sure that I'm being clear, local SEO is becoming more and more important, especially as AI is scaling. How many of you guys noticed recently with Google that you can put in your search and AI is actually answering back your question? Has anyone noticed that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's going to change everything. And that's not by mistake. All right. So super important that whatever is being said in that chat, that if they're looking for a contractor near me, all right, that you guys are coming up or that your business is coming up. All right. And it's actually pretty easy overall to optimize on these opportunities. So how many of you guys use your Siri on your phone or
I
Alexa?
don't. I don't.
Nobody does? I'm sure some
No,
of you do.
I don't. I don't
Okay.
like it.
So just to give you an idea, your ideal customers probably are. All right. So over the last year, there's been an absolute explosion in people using their phones to look for contractors, right? So people are asking their phone, asking Siri for these references. And where do you think that Siri or these AIs are getting the contractor in the local area from? Google, right? Google Maps in particular, right? Google Maps, Apple Maps, this is where they're actually going to. And then there's signals on those pages that give you an authority or not. All right. So again, if people are avoiding searches, all right, meaning that they're searching through Google, finding articles and things that would bring your page up to the top organically, if you're doing any sort of SEO, that's going to be changed dramatically. All right. That means that most people won't go through those pages, meaning that the traffic you may have had through SEO will no longer exist. I've seen an absolute enormous drop in our traditional SEO. And to be honest with you, we spent a month or two trying to fix it and trying to get it back on track. And what we're discovering is it really with the new way that Google is indexing and AIs have come in, that traditional method of SEO won't be as effective, right? So we have to look at what is effective, what is still optimal, and what's getting us the fastest and quickest results. So today, I'm going to be able to deliver you some really fast results and some low-hanging fruit that you guys can grab onto and immediately implement in your business. So what's this actually costing you, right? When we're paying for Facebook leads, all right? When we're paying for Google leads even, all right? Extremely expensive, all right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, maybe we're relying on referrals. All right. That's a dangerous game as well. We can't get any consistency. We can't scale our business. All right. Now, some of you may be using other forms of marketing, but I have to admit, almost all of my marketing strategies, and we employ about 20 of them in my own personal business and across other clients' businesses. I've tried everything you can imagine under the sun for a number of years. Still, hands down, if we're talking about what has the best ROI, is going to be coming up and being ranked SEO in Google is still the top of my marketing. The other thing that most people misunderstand is that by not coming up there, it drives the cost of your ads even higher. By not having a social media presence drives the cost of your ads even higher. Because really what's happening is you're signaling to the algorithms that you don't have any authority and you can't be trusted. All right. So we need to change that, especially if you want to be a dominant contractor in your area. And again, guys, even if you're doing commercial work, even if you're doing things outside of direct B2C business, all right, super important that we have a good presence there because your customers, your clients are searching your name. They are looking for information on you that way. And now with the advance of AI, if you have something negative, all right, or if you're not visible there, all right, that's going to accelerate that problem for you. Okay. So I want to give you a quick example of how we've helped some contractors and in particular in this situation. So we worked with a roofer recently, spending about $3,000 a month on Google Leads. Really having a hard time with the Google Leads. The cost has gone up and up. And the first thing that we looked at before we went in and tried to optimize his ads campaign was his actual local SEO and local presence on Google Maps. And what we found is he literally had nothing. He had addresses that were wrong. He had phone numbers that were no longer in service. And do you think that this is possibly hurting your ads?
Yeah.
So again, that's like burning cash. All right. The other thing that it was doing is what we discovered is he didn't have his services listed and they weren't to any certain keywords. So that almost immediately messed up the way that Google does their ad selection. All right. Because again, they pull information from your profile and most ads now have a lot of AI involved in them. And whatever they're saying there, whatever you're signaling there is actually what the algorithms are going after for you and your clients. So again, we want to be really thoughtful of what that Google Maps placement says. Okay. So let's just think about it this way. All right. So if we have a Google business profile, essentially your digital storefront, all right, and it's empty or it's not up to date or it's not being updated consistently. All right. Other things like no reviews or poor reviews. Okay. What's that signaling to somebody in search of you? What are they seeing first? Right? Especially if they're searching off their phone. They're going to see all of that almost instantly. Google puts those reviews in your face. They also, if anyone's searching, they're going to be pointed towards your business. So again, if you're looking at a roofer in my area, all right, it's only going to pull up the ones that it has trust in. And if that placement is empty, all right, not a very good chance you're going to show up, especially if, again, your website or anything else that you've done is not firing anymore, right? So we need to optimize our call first. All right. So I want to make this as simple as I can today. I feel like a lot of times we make this so complicated. I'm actually going to give you at the end of this call for anybody that wants to seriously make changes and take action. We have a school course. It's 5 modules and it's step-by-step actions that you can take today on your own. Don't need anyone specialized to do this. All right. That are going to get you some huge results. All right. So let's look at it first, right? This is a 5-step SEO playbook that I want to go through. All right. And it starts obviously with our foundation. Our foundation is what? Our Google placement, right? So where Google Maps is, we want to make sure that profile, okay, is actually up to date and that it's optimized to your customer. Okay. So if you haven't looked at it in a couple of years, which most contractors seem to be a part of, I'm going to give you the step by step on how to optimize that. All right. We're also going to look at all the other key areas within that profile that you can change that's going to send better signals and give you a clearer presence to the algorithms. Okay. Next, we're going to want to showcase. All right. So it's a great place to have your photos, to have your videos. I bet you, how many of you guys actually knew that Google was a social media platform or is trying to be a social media platform? So if you're posting content in places like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all right, the same content can be posted on your Google profile. And it's actually really smart that you do that because again, that's going to build authority, all right, with anybody searching for any key terms that you're using. Okay. The next big one, guys, all right, reviews. All right. So I see this quite often. A lot of people have great reviews, but they've never responded back to the customer, good or bad. Okay. We always should be responding within 24 hours of getting a new review, right? Good or bad. You do that off your Google profile. All right. It's quite easy to go in there, but we want to optimize that. Okay. We want to make sure that Google knows that we're alive because think about it. If they're sending you customers, all right, and there's no response back from you, all right, there's no updates, all right, they can easily assume that your profile has got no authority, is not trusted. Okay. And they do. It's literally like that. Okay. The next area we want to focus, all right, and you can easily build this into your workflows if you're doing social media already, all right. If you're not, and I'll be honest with you, we have some clients that don't even have a website. They only have a Google local thing. That's all they do. That's it. That and the referrals that they get, that's enough to sustain themselves to over $1 million business. But they do posts. Okay. The reason we're doing posts there is because that's an opportunity to display any offers, anything that we have that our customers may be interested in, and to also let Google know that, hey, I'm active. All right. I'm present. All right. All of this is going to build what we call authority. Okay. Now, there's a plenty of ways that we build authority. Just to give you the simple, easy way to understand this, we build authority, and one of the easier ones to get is we build authority through our backlinks. Okay. A backlink is essentially when another website references you. All right. References your website. Okay, Google prioritizes these and says that's of authority. So think about it like this. We're in a crowd, right? And you have to get a certain amount of votes from that crowd, right? So how many votes are you getting, and what counts as a vote? All right. The votes are from other high authority websites. Okay. So for example, a YouTube vote, a Bing Maps vote. All right. They all have a certain amount of authority that they're passing to you and saying that this URL is trustable. Okay. This is a active contractor. Okay. So we want to be working on that. That's an easy way. And I'm going to talk about that. That's directories. That can be a lot of things that create backlinks, create authority for ourselves. The other way is, again, through content. All right. So the same kind of content actually that you're generating for social media, you can generate and post the same kind of content there. All right. With a bit of a twist. All right. Any content that we're generating, and I say this across the board, whether you're doing it in social media or not, everything should be SEO optimized. All right. So I'm going to give you my very simple content plan. At J Carter Roofing, we start everything with a blog, an idea. All right. The idea of that blog comes simply from two things, right? Number one is we check and see what people are searching for. What are the main concerns they have? What are the questions that they have? All right. And you'd be very surprised. You can actually find that information out. All right. Number two is, what is our competitors' post that's been successful? Right? What kind of blogs do they have? All right. That creates the foundation of our social media content plans. Now we're taking those keywords, those particular keywords, and we're using them in all of our other content, our short form content. So short form is like short videos, clips. It all is SEO optimized, and it's all pointing back to where they can get more information. All right. So short form to long form. And in there, we're going to have some call to actions where they want to actually move to getting a quote. All right. So think about the buyer's journey here. Very easy once you get it into a discipline and a routine to keep up on. And again, does it have to be spectacular? No, not really. It doesn't have to be spectacular. A lot of times you can use AI for the ideas, all right, which makes it a lot easier. But it's about consistency. It's about commitment to posting in these platforms. And we have a really great way of doing that. I'll share that with you guys at the end. All right. But again, if you're making any sort of content, all right, we want to make sure that we're posting that in the appropriate places and that we've done our research and made sure that what we're posting has relevance to the type of work or the type of customer we're trying to attract. Okay. For anybody here that has not already done this, all right, I have an SOP, so don't panic, don't stress. Our SOPs are child-proof, I would like to think. We've made them like super easy. You can even delegate it, all right? So if you don't have somebody that can do it for you, if you're not a Contractor AI client, obviously you can get somebody in your office to do this as well. It's step by step. But if you don't have a profile, please get your profile, all right? Make sure that you've claimed it.
I think I
Okay.
have.
Oh, so the second thing we want to do is make sure that we're showcasing, that we have every section filled in. And again, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of this because that would make this a 2 hour or 3 hour call. I'd like to cover this. Again, it's going to be in that course that we're providing for you, or these SOPs. We have 5 of them. Take you about 2 hours to do all of this if you haven't got anything yet. All right. But we're going to showcase, we're going to update any photos that need to be updated. All right. We're going to provide proof. All right. So again, asking people for reviews from the Google platform. All right. Very smart for your business. Okay. Google sees this as an authority thing. There's nothing higher with Google than reviews. Okay. That's proof, especially if you're running ads, any Google local service ads, anything like that. They actually will take you out if you get bad reviews. They will remove you from the searches if you get too many bad reviews. Okay. And that only makes logical sense if you're in the Google local service ads. They are actually guaranteeing your work. All right. So they take and make sure that they've vetted through you very quickly. So again, most companies that aren't successful with those ads usually have some bad reviews, and that's why Google is choosing not to share their ads. Okay. Even to come up locally, we also want to make sure that we're optimizing our ads. Again, guys, I'm going to give you all the SOPs. If you do have some bad reviews, a lot of times we can get those off. And you always want to be preventing any bad reviews from showing up on your profile at all costs. Okay. That's the first thing people see, and they make judgments pretty quick from that social proof. Okay. Once again, talking about visibility here. As you start to add features to this, what Google's going to see and when they recrawl the site, all right, is they're going to see visibility, right? So you're going to open up the area of where people searching for your services will be able to see you, okay? And especially on Google Maps, because that's where most of the searches are coming from across any platform that you're looking at. So again, Bing, Apple, all of the AIs that are out there, they're all using, probably about 90% of them are using Google local maps, right? Super, super important here. No matter what you're doing, paid ads, organic, doesn't matter. We got to have a good presence here. Okay. And then authority, and we're going to give you guys some ideas as well, specifically on how to build authority. All right. Let you get through the process. I find if you're capable of taking the simple steps, all right, then we can add more and more on top. I purposely tried to keep this simple. All right. We timed it. We made sure that this is something everybody can get done no matter what. All right. And it's going to have a very large ROI for you and your business. Okay. We wanted to share another case study of a contractor that we are currently working with, having a lot of success. Again, running Google ads, all right, paid ads, and getting 2 calls per week. Okay. Spending about $200 to $300 on 2 calls per week. Okay. Hopefully there's not too many of us that can relate to that. But after we optimized on his Google profile, all right, and again, we're talking not 12 months like traditional SEO, we're talking about 30 days, all right, we're able to get him up to 12 calls per week just from Google Maps. Okay. So complementing his ads, still spending the same $200 to $300, but getting 12 calls per week. Here's another very interesting thing that we saw happen very quickly. The quality of the lead went way, way up. All right. So usually Google is seen as a high intent platform, meaning that people that are going there are actively looking to buy services versus something like Facebook where they may be more passive. They may be possibly looking at it in the future. Google's a high intent platform, right? We pay for that. Now, when people go to search, usually they're looking to make a decision on that. So by coming up there, it allowed his ads to actually perform better and he was getting organic calls. Okay. It almost seems like a cheat code. And again, like I said, most contractors aren't updating these frequently enough to keep up with the changes and even putting new features in there, letting people know, letting the community know about updates, special offers. All of that, again, is going to help to build your authority with Google and allow all of your other campaigns to run tremendously better, right? So 3 tasks that we can get done. I love quick wins. I want to make sure that I'm delivering for you guys spending time with me today. Here's 3 things that we can do today, all right, with no excuses. I give you none, all right. Obviously, I should have put the first one in is to join our school platform where you can access all of the SOPs. We'll have those available for you, and I'll show you that right at the end here. But we're going to upload 5 new photos, okay? You can take photos you've already used on other platforms and share them on Google, okay? We're going to ask 2 past customers for reviews again, or we can also go back to someone who's maybe given us a bad review and have a discussion with them and see if we can satisfy them. All right. If you have reviews on there that you don't deserve, all right, or that could possibly be fake, we have an SOP as well for following up on those and getting them removed. All right. And it's more than just going into the thing and reporting it. That sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes you need to escalate it. So anybody with bad reviews, you want to get those removed. If you can't, then we want to add new reviews on top and make sure that we're getting good customer reviews. All right. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to say this, but checking your phone numbers and hours. Okay. Very important. Super important. Again, I've talked to some contractors that just completely have abandoned this, and sure enough, they have the wrong phone number on there. So even if people could find them, they can't contact them, which is a unfortunate waste. So how many of you have claimed your profile on here? Maybe give me a found in the chat box so I know what I'm working with here. How many of you guys have found, or sorry, have claimed your profile? Okay.
Can't get it to.
How many of you claimed it on Bing and Apple Maps?
Google My Business.
Okay. That's one place. Who here has an Apple phone?
Me?
Okay. So let's put this in perspective. I bet you if you have an Apple phone, you've probably used the Apple directions before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Your business doesn't show up there, right? Most businesses don't show up there. So if we want to be really smart, we go register our business and claim our Apple map spot, which again, I give you all the SOPs for. You can do this in about 5 to 10 minutes. Bing, the same thing. Okay. Because what's going to happen is now your business will actually show up on the most widely used phone in North America, right? That'd be an easy, quick win, right?
Yes.
Yes. So again, guys, there's lots of opportunity to grow, and we don't need to spend more on ads. We need to optimize just our simple things. Now, here's another thing. Anybody using a Siri, all right, for AI, especially the younger generations that are asking Alexa to find a plumbing contractor, asking Alexa to find an electrical contractor. By the way, those searches have gone up 5,500%, all right, in the last year. That's boggling to me, right? How much we've completely shifted from traditional searching Google to now just asking Alexa or Siri to find us something. Okay, so that's a dramatic shift, and that's not going away anytime soon. So it's very important that we are present on those algorithms as well so that our business can be recommended. Okay. There's a short period of window of time, I think. Again, if I look around, most people do have their Google business place claimed. Very few people have their business claimed on Apple or Bing.
11 straight times we've been eligible. That 1 year.
Hold on a second. Let me.
5 games. Other than that, 11.
All right. Okay, let's talk about real quickly, again, in terms of getting quick wins in today and getting things actually done, all right, that gets us results, all right? I want to be even more specific on things that really work well and types of content that we can post, all right, for remodelers. We should be posting before and after galleries, okay? Great place to demonstrate your value before a customer even calls you. Okay. We should also be making sure, if you can, if you're capable of having a booking link. Okay. A lot of customers will book directly into your calendar right from that Google My Business platform. If you want to do it a little bit more advanced, you can also turn on the chat feature in Google Local or Business, where we can actually allow people to text us. All right. So a lot of people are preferring that. Great for a remodeler. All right. If you're a roofer and let's say you're doing storm damage and roof inspections, put how much the inspection is going to cost right on your Google listing. All right. Let people know those prices. Okay. Be upfront, be transparent. Okay. Let them know that you do these kind of inspections. Show them an inspection. Okay. That's a great way. Electricians highlighting their emergency service. Again, making sure that those services are included in their listing. Okay, that those keywords are optimized in their listing. All right, which Google allows you to do as many keywords as you want under the services that you offer. All right, it allows you to put in and optimize on those words. Give a description, include the city that you're working in. All right, very low hanging fruit here, guys. Again, in our training, we're actually going to give you a GPT that will help you do the research where it takes literally 5 minutes. Okay? So again, quick wins. Of course, if you guys would like, we're more than open to help you put this into action. If you don't have the time, if you want us to audit and have a look. But again, that's not the point to our call, and it's not the value I wish to share unless somebody's looking to move a little quicker. What I'm going to share with you guys. All right. For anybody that's just joining, we have a community. All right. Lots of training in here, but if you join our community, you can come down here and see the local service SEO. All right. And again, I made this super simple. It's a step by step. You guys see my screen, by the way? Oh, maybe I'll stop.
Yeah,
and share
we're
again.
oh,
There it goes.
Was it working there? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right. So again, basic foundational things, guys, that often get overlooked. All right. There's many layers we can add on to this. There's many things that we can do that to make this advanced. I'm not doing that today. I'm looking to do the simple things that are going to be the quickest, fastest wins. Okay. That you don't need to hire an agency to do, and you can get it done today. So what it is, we even timed it, how long it would take. All right. And then we give you the video and the actual step-by-step SOP the whole way through. Okay. You can literally go step by step and do these things yourself or have it delegated. All right. That's free for you. That's, again, I want to make sure that everybody's walking away from here with a high value thing to do. All right. We give you all the tools, everything you need. All that I'm asking in return for this is for you to post your wins and to be active in our community. All right. Seems like a small thing to ask for. We spent quite a few hours putting this together for you guys today. All right. But I want to see wins. I want to see that you guys took action, even if it's imperfect. All right. And we've made this simple. This isn't no fluff. All right. It's straight, exactly what you need to do. It's what we help our customers and clients do as well. All right. So we're able to take some immediate action today. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any concerns about their SEO that they would like to discuss, or anything that I just talked about? I know I just ranted for a little while there, so I'd love to hear anybody's challenges or struggles with this.
In my opinion, or my experience, SEOs are not as effective as like a direct ad. Would you agree with that, or am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, I would totally disagree with that. So here's the thing. What we found, and I'll give you the best example that I can come up with on the moment, is that when you organically think about what these algorithms need to do, okay? Take it Facebook, take it anywhere where you're advertising, okay? They have an organic platform, all right, that they rely on other people's content in order to drive their sales. So again, would any of us be on there if there wasn't content? Of course not, all right? So what the algorithms do is reward you for doing these things. All right. So the best way I can explain it and even give you a case study, we have a client that is active and consistently posting in Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Their ads almost always outperform any other ads that we could run for them by a huge number. All right. Because what's happening is you've already signaled what kind of customer you're trying to attract. You've already given them data points. All right. So when the AI takes on and starts to run ads for you, it's already targeting the right people. That's the first step. The second step to that is when people just think about it logically, people aren't just seeing your ad and then calling you out of the woodwork or the dark. They're doing some research. All right. Most clients have already made the decision to buy from you before they even pick up the phone. All right. And if you're not there coming up in social media platform, all right, and you don't have a presence and they can't see that you're trustable, all right, they're just moving on to the next person. Okay. Same way if a company's totally obscure and they're running ads, those ads aren't going to perform very well. All right. On the other hand, if they have a good presence and they've done a lot of these things and can show that they have authority, their ads are going to perform way better. That's the same thing in Google, the same thing on Facebook, Instagram, like right across the board, TikTok, you name it. All right. If you are doing the content and creating a presence there, and at least doing the basic things, covering your grounds, right? Just having your profile set up and optimized, everything else is going to perform better. Right? So that's the best way I could explain it. Okay? Anybody else have questions?
So you're saying that we need to put in Bing in Apple Map as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it takes no extra time, I assure you. It's quite quick, yes. Because they have their own map pack, right? So just like Apple or just Google, although Google is the largest by far, all right, they also pull from there. But here's the thing. Apple and Bing are still an authority site in the eyes of Google. Okay, so if you want your ads and everything to perform better, that's an easy link to make. And that's what we call, again, local directories. It's considered a directory.
Okay.
So I give you all of that in the SOP. Again, guys, you can rip through these things real fast. It's super simple. Like it's 3.5 minutes to register your business in Apple.
Okay. Now, my other question is, when you say Google Maps,
Yep.
that's a local search, but can you get that into, let's say, because we're in Ohio, and we do work all over Ohio. How do you get that to resonate into the whole Ohio picture?
Yeah, so again, once you've claimed your spot, that's going to obviously put you to more of authority. There's a gazillion different ways, and again, as we get more advanced, the simplest way though is building backlinks. All right, so again, is your site listed on other directories? All right, with the keyword that you want to show up for. So again, if you just randomly put in your business and you're not explaining what keywords you want to be showing up for, so again, a good example, an electrician just puts electrician, all right, instead of electrician, Ohio, in the town that they're in, right? That should be your keyword. All right. So again, after that, you want to build backlinks. That's going to allow that. And it doesn't take very much, 10 to 15, 20 backlinks we've seen where you're number one on the maps, right? After that, it just becomes maintenance.
Okay.
So it's actually way easier to game Apple and Bing right now because nobody knows really about them, right? It's not, people didn't realize that you have to go and register with them. The other thing too is to be coming up AI, all right? AI is quickly checking authority on all of those sites. Like we know where the AIs are pulling and aggregating their information from. And again, if somebody is on a Yahoo search directory, they're going to pull their own data first, right? So sometimes it's just a matter of registering there and boom, you're already there because no one else has. Most of the time, I will say.
Okay.
Okay. Other directories like Yelp, like things like that. Again, guys, we have a service where we can register you for all of them, right? All the top ones and continue to build those backlinks. If you've got the time and patience, you can do these things yourself. Again, entirely up to you. But if you go through this course, this will give you the foundation. If you can do all of these things, all right, and you do all of these things in order, it's just a rinse and repeat. Okay. All right. Did you want to throw the link in the chat there for if they wanted to join and grab this resource for me? Okay. I'll throw the link in here. Anybody that wants to join our school more than can. Okay. I'm going to be doing another call. So for everybody that is on this week, this is meant to lay the foundation to get some wins. I wanted to see if you guys actually take action on it. Next week, we're going to talk about something that's slightly more advanced, and that's how to come up with AI directories, because there's a new citation that you can get. All right. And I'm excited to talk about this next week. A new citation that you can get that's AI, right? So you can actually turn ChatGPT into a advertiser for you. All right. I don't know how much longer they will have that opportunity open because it seems again like cheating, but you can actually reverse it and have them pointing at your site. And it doesn't, again, take a lot to get yourself ranked. And again, this is definitely going to be the future, which is, I guess it's a good thing, right? We got to run around and get our votes and build our authority, and can't see a much better ROI. To some people, they even turn their ads off because the Google local services work so well. Okay. Any
Well,
other
I sure,
questions? Yeah.
sure appreciate all the help you've been given. So thank you very much.
No problem. Like I said, what we stand for here is to always give you the information first. All right. Again, if you get into this and you get the gist of it and you can get some wins out of it, what helps to build on top of that, at least understanding how an agency would do it. And this is the exact SOPs we use here to optimize our customers' local businesses as well. So please do me a favor and actually get a result. All right. I don't want to take all this time where people just listen and feel inspired by it, but take no action. This is about taking action here.
All righty.
All righty. Any other questions? Anyone feel stuck with what I'm explaining here? Anyone confused?
I was
No?
just curious. If a person was going to add some different photos to their business profile, do you put a title under it somehow, or just the picture?
Yeah, so you're going to put up the images. You can put words in the image. You can also post short clip videos, which are even better. So again, if you're going into a profile, we post customer testimonials, right? We post those videos there. We treat it just like you would Facebook or Instagram. All right. Again, and most people don't realize that like Google's actually trying to steal back some of that traffic. So what they're doing is, again, they're making it a place where they want to have communities, right? They want to have people discussing things. The other really cool thing that you can do, and this is a cheat, every time you're driving to your business, do this for me. turn on your maps and get directions from your Google listing. All right. I didn't I've been doing it for a while. It's just again, it's so funny how it works, but you're basically tricking the algorithm to think you're showing Google that you're more popular than you are. If you're getting directions, all right, it builds your authority. Who would have thought, eh? Okay. Another easy way to build some authority, all right? Everybody has those pesky commonly asked questions that everybody asks, all right? You answer every time in your sales calls. There's a place in the Google profile where you can actually go, you know what? Maybe I'll just open this up and I'll show you where it is. And you can have questions. All right? So it's a Q&A. All right. And this is again, it's like a backwards feature, but you can actually get. Oh, I'm locked out of mine. That's not good. I lied. I can't show you mine at the moment, but we can go to another one in Google. All right. Share my screen. All right, you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So we got reviews, right? Overview, all their abouts. Okay, and if you scroll down, we can see they didn't have any posts here, and they haven't set up. Yeah, they've got some views, but there's their questions and answers, right? So in the questions and answers, Q&A, what you do is you log in and you ask questions to Google that your customer would ask you. Okay. You get your customers or whoever, as long as it's not your profile, and you can answer those things back. All right. What that does is the AI actually reads all of that. Okay. So then when someone's searching for that, like above in the Google box, now they're using that AI box, it's going to its own data first, right? So if it sees the answer to that commonly answered question or that keyword that's being searched, right? So for us, it's if metal roofs attract lightning, all right? That's a common theme. So we have an answer to that. Pretty simple. Okay. Now every time it's going to go back because it sees that information as what the client is looking for. Okay. So make sure that you're using your Q&As and answers there, right? Again, look at the photos. Make sure that your photos are optimized, right? That they're showing what you're doing. Okay. That are reviews. And we have reviews that are good. This guy's got 763 reviews. He's going to show up no matter what on any of the searches, right? So you can see, right, compared to the other guys, right? If you have special hours, if you provide emergency service, this is the place that you want to make sure is clear for everybody. Okay. And then of course there's keyword optimization as well inside of the profile that you can adjust for. And again, that's all in the SOPs that we gave to you. I want to avoid going into the technical stuff because I feel people get overwhelmed very quickly with it. We made it step by step. There's nothing to get lost on. And you can even use AIs now to optimize that. We put that all in here. And again, we put the exact amount of time it'll take you. If you want to delegate it to your team, we made it silly simple for you. Okay. Any other questions?
If you change a description under your
Mhm.
business information, how often is it good to change that? Mine's outdated. I'd like to change mine.
I would prefer you didn't because I work on yours. So yours,
No, I
again,
wasn't
yeah.
sure
Yeah.
what a
So
person does.
it's not so much about the descriptions, it's about the keywords that we're optimizing for. So
Okay.
again, when we're giving descriptions, you'll see that some keywords in there are silly. You're like, why would I put that? It's obscure, right? But really what
Yes.
it's doing is optimizing for what the searches are. So the more I can be in line with the searches, and I give you like how to research those keywords, and putting them under the right categories, that's just basically signaling to the algorithm that, yeah, this guy's got that, we want to point towards his. And then again, they're going to very quickly match your reviews. How much authority you have, how many backlinks. and they're gonna come up with where you stand, right? And in each area, they have basically three contractors that are fairly dominant, right? So again, even if you don't have a presence, doing this for 30, 60, 90 days, keeping the updates up, regular posts, right? So you can again see he's got a call to action, right? Recent storms. All of these are what you would see in social media, right? Same stuff you would post in social media, the exact same things. And now it's a call to action. So they can actually call directly off of here, which in Facebook and these other platforms, they don't allow you to do. Right? So this is a lot more beneficial and it does drive a lot of calls. My suggestion here, guys, if you can, make sure that it's pointing to a call, that your call to action is call. People tend to call more from Google than to put in a lead form or go to another site. It's easier. You don't want to move them from platform. That's just what I've seen. It does depend on what kind of services you're offering, but most of it can be call to action is call. Okay. And you can very clearly see that all of his content is mostly AI driven as well. Okay. If you're interested in how to make this process faster or not to manage it at all, again, reach out to us. We'll at least give you the right information for how you can implement this or get your team to implement it. Content does still matter, so we want to be careful with it. And what we're putting in there specifically, again, one keyword, optimizing on one or two keywords can be millions of dollars in revenue if you do it properly. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, then I'll assume I did a really great job today. Everyone's going to join the school platform and get their SOPs, and they'll be sharing lots of wins in our group with what they've been able to get accomplished. Great. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll talk to you soon.